Good afternoon. Afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Making sure I'm coming through okay. Hope you are well. Happy Friday. It's Friday, and I'm looking forward to the weekend, to be honest. And a lot of work this week, as usual. But in saying that, even when it's Saturday, Sunday, I do get a little bit like, oh, I wish the charts were open. And the idea of potentially making money. So I do love what I do. But right now, with all the bloody work I'm doing, Saturday, Sunday, a Friday afternoon is quite nice. So hope everybody's well. Rohan, how you doing? Alan, how you doing from Cameroon? I just Googled your place. I had no idea where it was. But good to see you here. David, good to see you. I haven't seen you before. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you coming. Hopefully you find some value here. So we'll go through the index and dollar and all that kind of stuff. Just discovered your site yesterday. Oh, great. Hopefully you like it, David. I've just well, just for your knowledge, I've just spent a lot of money upgrading it. So on the 1st of September, we're doing like a massive upgrade. We've not actually officially launched yet. It's taken me 19 months. Would you believe that? 19 months to develop that website. Obviously, a lot of investment gone into it. And not only 19 months, it's taken me 9 months to figure out the payment gateway. So if you don't know the payment gateway, it's basically buying stuff. So when you put your card details in online to buy something, let's say off Amazon, that process is so difficult to do. It's unbelievable. So yeah, we're officially launching on the 1st of September. Advertising campaign and stuff. So yeah, maybe I'll see you in there. It'll be good to see you. Anyway, let's talk about the market, shall we? And I want to start on this EURUSD because I think EURUSD is quite interesting here for a potential fake. Now, right off the bat, I'm looking at this 4-hour chart, and you know it's very easy to see this massive extension that we've got here on EURUSD. I know CAD's been weak, we are going counter trend, but that is the essence of the fake out strategy. So this big gap between the 20 and this price action is obviously not sustainable, right? Do we really expect this to have another leg like that upwards? Probably not. Now I was looking at this on the lower time frames. And this is important. So notice this on the hourly chart. You'll see a nice hammer here, right? The reason why this is not part of my fake out strategy is because number one, it's not actually faked out, right? That hammer came on right at this resistance zone. So it never broke the level. So what we need is an actual break of that level. And the level I consider right now is these closes. I've also got a minor level here up at this wick. So that hourly bar, I didn't consider valid for a potential fake, and it was right because we ended up pushing on. It would have been a losing trade. However, what I'm looking for now, and the good thing about this is some volume is coming in. Yes, we are in London, so you'd expect a bit more volume to come in anyway. But I need a reason to short this pair, basically. You know, we're roughly around that 200 on the daily. I know we've got some CAD retail sales out tonight, but this is looking, you know, potential here for a nice fake out short. Now, again, what I'm looking for is a reason to get in. So either on this 30-minute, I kind of want this to push on a little bit more. If we break this wick level, that would be even better, right? The higher this goes, the more susceptible it is for a massive snapback. So I do get excited about these euro fake out trades. I know the euro likes a fake out. I mean, we've seen it before here. Right, we've seen this kind of climactic into this area and a big snap back. So that's what we're looking for with this EURUSD. And the more it pushes, for me, the more extended it gets, the better it looks. So yeah, looking at this 30-minute, you kind of wanted to push on, but just for a potential entry there on EURUSD, looks pretty nice to me. I have to say, you know, the risk reward of these trades are quite high. And yeah, EURUSD potential, and if we get that and end up getting decent retail sales at the CAD, oof, could be a nice little Friday trade, potentially. Obviously, nothing's confirmed yet, but could be a nice little Friday trade. Okay, the SPX. So the SPX has got some conflicting messages here on the daily chart. If we start from the daily chart, we had a decent hammer closure, right? A decent hammer on a little bit of volume. Okay, we're kind of respecting roughly around this trend line here. So, you know, on the daily, you've got to say we are on an uptrend. However, if we dissect it, and go down to the smaller time frames, it does look bearish. You know, I did say, I'm not sure if I said this on Wednesday when I was streaming, I can't really remember, but I did say if we closed above this 200, expect a little bit of a pullback, and you've got to consider it a pullback until it potentially changes trend. And we got a loss of momentum here, probably roughly around that 40-60 box, and now pushing to the downside. If we do get a close underneath this area, and certainly a close below here, this stock market could certainly wobble. You know, and you know, markets don't like uncertainty, and if the market sees it close underneath this support area, it could be a little bit of a wobble. However, we're getting a bit of support here. This could potentially turn into a complex. My bias is, because of these smaller time frames, my bias is still to the downside. You know, that yen is still strong, the Swiss is still strong, the US dollar is still strong. So playing that strength in those risk-off currencies, for me, still makes sense. The only time it doesn't make sense is if this obviously respects this hammer and respects this rough trend line, and it continues to reverse and changes this shorter term trend. In which case, even saying that, that may not reflect into strength in the Aussie, strength in the New Zealand, strength in those commodity currencies against those risk-off currencies, because we've seen markets push and the yen, the US dollar, and the Swiss still relatively strong. So it'll be interesting to see how this 4-hour closes. Again, we are in pullback mode at the moment. You just got to wait for confirmation. You know, it does look ready to move. Just waiting for that confirmation that it wants to move to the downside. And you know, if it does, or if it does give us this, looking for potential shorts up there makes sense. Again, looking for to play that strength in the risk-off currencies again makes sense. So looking at the SPX for direction, and if it does fall, I think you could get some really good opportunities in those risk-off currencies against the other currencies. So again, looking at the SPX for direction will be a good play, but at the moment, still in corrective mode. Dollar, how's everybody's week been, by the way? Has anybody made trades? Is anybody trading well? Anybody making money? As I said, for me, I'm not even taking a trade. Might be the first month ever. So dollar is strong. You know, dollar is continuing to be strong. I'm not going to pick a top in this. I'm not going to say this trend's going to end at any point in time. You know, does it look extended? Not as bad as it was. We're just strengthening. You know, we've got a daily close above this area, this 93.5 area, which is significant because of the reaction we had last time. So this is a significant close for the US dollar. And, you know, it looks bullish. Again, any trades you have buying that US dollar would make sense to me until it doesn't. So until you see a potential bend at the end of that trend, keep playing dollar longs. You know, just go with that trend. And for example, if you've been playing dollar longs all week, right, getting some success out of it, if you say have two winning trades and then they end up, you know, the last one when it comes at the end, that's fine. You know, you just play that trend until it stops. So don't fight it and just continue to go with it on the dollar. Now the trades that I'm looking at, kind of slim pickings today, but I've got a few potential ones here. So I'm still looking at oil. I'm still looking at oil here. I think it's probably gone. You know, I think with the extent of this break that we had, we were probably, you know, 8 or 12 hours away of price action, of accumulation prior to taking that. So we didn't get in on the breakout. And, you know, this retracement is still that 50% level, that 50% fib. I just think, I just can't see it getting up there. Maybe I'm wrong. I just can't see it getting up there to get our retest. I have a feeling this might just kind of go before it reaches that area just because of the extent of this drop. But I'm going to continue to watch it and see what happens with oil. You know, you look at the smaller time frames, kind of breaking out of this channel corrective here. Looking pretty bearish, but I will keep an eye on it just in case it does pull back. So oil shorts potentially still on the cards, but we'll have to wait and see. USD SEC. On this daily chart, I remember I do my scan probably about 4 hours ago, so this is my kind of update. I think again this one's probably gone. We had our cup with handle here prior. We'd want our retest to come after this bar, and we're kind of pushing on now. So that kind of looks like a bit of a breakout. Now, this isn't a bad thing. You know, when I see pairs that are on my watch list that are going the way I expected, it's not a bad thing. You know, it just means we're not getting in on it, but our kind of directional bias is there. And I was almost in this one. You know, the 20 period was almost there. Again, if the 20 period was like this, I probably would have taken it to the upside. But, you know, that's a bit of hindsight Harry hat on. And not in it, unfortunately. Euro yen. And let me know if you want me to look at anything, guys. Like I said, I've only got a few pairs on the watch list today. And whatever you want me to look at, I'll try and help you out with your trading. Or if you've got any issues you want me to see if I can help with, then let me know. Try and always help you guys out. And to be better traders, basically. Okay, so Euro Yen, the context is there. It is a little bit choppy, but you can see the kind of double V reversal cup with handle breaking through that area. So the context is there. We're looking for a retest of this area to continue to the downside. Now, this is going with the trend. This is going buying the strongest currency in the yen. The daily looks good. The 4 hour looks good. So now we're just looking for that nice retest to make sure that this retest is successful to continue to the downside on Euro Yen. So again, I like that. Euro Yen shorts. And Euro Polish. Euro Polish is on the cards, which I haven't traded for quite some time, as a potential break on this 4 hour chart. So we've got our basing structure here, right? A decent move to the upside over the last day or two. And we are in corrective mode right now. So I need this to digest a little bit more, right, to be able to take it as a breakout. So potentially something like this to take it to the breakout long. But Euro Polish, I kind of like this as well. And we look at the daily, we're getting two outside bullish engulfers here. We're above that 20, some volume on those engulfers coming in. Again, simple stuff, going with that trend. That looks pretty good to me, to be honest with you. Euro Polish, if you know me, you know I love these exotic pairs. The reason why is when you get onto moves, right, and you're on the right side of the move, then they really kind of move. What do you prefer between indices and Forex? I prefer Forex, Alan. The reason why I like analyzing the SPX is just because of that risk sentiment. And, give my risk on, risk off. For trading wise, I don't, if I get a step on the SPX, I'll trade it, right? But normally what I'm primarily looking for investment wise is looking for a good opportunity to buy that SPX on dips. So a good thing about learning how to trade is you also learn how to invest, right? And the easiest starting point for any investment is buying those indexes on any dips. You know, any dips in it, you just put a little bit more money into it and leave it for 10, 20 years. And it's pretty much the closest thing to a guaranteed profitable investment that you can get. So I do like trading them, but my bread and butter is Forex for sure. And silver. Silver is here. Silver is on the list. Silver against the euro and silver against the dollar. So we've got our breakthrough now. We can see our cup with handle here. A cup with handle within a cup with handle. Breaking through that area. The 4 hour looks really good. Again, kind of ready to move. Hammer candle here. 20 period close by. This looks good. This looks good. Daily looks good on a downtrend. Just looking for a breakout. Same thing. Breakout, retest to go to the downside on silver. I presume this is quite similar to... that's gold. I presume this is silver. Silver. It's the same as against the US dollar. See? So we're getting the same rough setup here. So the context of these two are really nice. You know, with that dollar pushing. Commodities, certainly silver coming off a little bit. This looks nice. This looks nice. I mean, look. We're in a downtrending environment. We're going with the trend. We've got our setup here. This looks good. So I need a breakout, retest to go to the downside. So if you're new watching this, I am a breakout retest trader. I'm a breakout trader as well. But I don't take the breakouts on anything less than the 4 hour chart. I found from my back testing that I'm more profitable breaking out on these 4 hours and daily charts rather than the 30-minute and 1 hour, primarily because there's a bit more noise on these smaller time frames, and you often get I'd say you often get caught in fake outs, fake outs of this area. So I found through back testing that, sticking to this 4 hour, having a wider stop makes me more profitable in these breakout trades. But those two I like, silver against the US dollar and silver against the euro I do like. I actually don't trade the NASDAQ, Alan. For some reason, I don't know why, but I've never traded the NASDAQ. I've never had the chart up or anything like that. And finally, USD yen. So USD yen on this daily chart. Again, I know the US dollar is strong. I know this is two strong currencies, but the setup is still there. I'm potentially looking at this head and shoulders. You can take this as a larger kind of cut with handle, potentially within a handle. But, I like this. So we put our neckline on. What ideally would be the case here, remember this is a daily chart, would be a breakthrough, a retest to continue to the downside, right? Stop loss is above here, breakout below this zone. This looks pretty good. Possibly we're changing trend from an uptrend to a downtrend. The head and shoulders is that kind of pattern where it's indicating a change in trend. So a pullback from this downtrend is part of your head and shoulders. This looks quite nice. Daily chart hammer and potential here for a short trade in the dollar. I know the dollar looks strong, but the yen is very strong as well. And we get a fall in that stock market, the yen will certainly be the strongest on the basket. So that's my setups for today. I think the most exciting one is certainly that Euro CAD. So I'll be watching that like a hawk today, because if it does set up, then so this is good, right? I like this. Look, we're breaking through this area now. So this is perfect now. And just look at that. I mean, that cannot sustain, right? So if you get a good entry on this, right, getting a little bit more volume into it, this would be really nice. And what I might do is I might start my next 200 grand challenge if this does set up, and just take it on that, because, the risk reward is too good to give up. There are a lot of V reversals in the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. So let's look at the Dow Jones. I mean, you guys know that I don't like the stock market, right? I mean, you've known that for quite some time. So for the new people coming involved, what I'll say, my thoughts on the stock market is, we've been consistently breaking all-time highs. But for the past 2.5 months, right, the trading, the fluidity, the follow-through hasn't been there. And we're seeing, through these consistent breaks in all-time highs, we're still seeing that strength, and probably stronger than your commodity currencies, in the currencies like the yen, the risk-off currencies. And the last time that I saw that was pre-COVID, just before we were, again, reaching all-time highs, and then before that massive drop. Now, I don't think that extent will happen, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in the stock market, which is why, as I said on Wednesday, I'm putting a little fund aside for a potential kind of decent drop in it to buy up that SPX on a big dip. Sorry, US 30. I'll go into the Dow Jones. So US 30. Yeah, that doesn't look very good, does it? Who asked about that? Alan. Yeah, that certainly looks weaker than the SPX. And certainly, you've had your hammer bar there, right? But I presume if you go into the 4-hour chart, right, that hammer bar kind of tells a story of this. So again, we're in pullback with that US 30, but it certainly looks a lot bearish. And certainly, if you break below that hammer, it could cause that uncertainty in the market, and the markets just don't like that. And markets fall a lot faster than they rise, when we know that. So if you do get a little bit of a sell-off here, it could come down quite decently. So yeah, I'm not very bullish on the markets right now, put it that way. NZD USD on daily broke the support. NZD USD. NZD USD. Well, yeah, certainly looks bearish, doesn't it? Certainly looks bearish. I think we were talking about this a little time ago, weren't we? Where it breaks that trend line, looks bearish. I mean, I can't bring myself to sell. At this point in time, the move's already happened for me. even though you've got a little bit of a setup here on the lower time frames, right? So you've kind of got a little setup here on the lower time frames. That doesn't mean it can't go, right? That doesn't mean it can't go at all, right? You know, if this wants to continue to the downside, it will. But I think waiting for that pullback to continue down makes sense. And with the it also depends on the stock market, Rohan. So if the stock market does have a little shake, that will fall. You know, the Kiwi will come off, and you kind of go out the realms of the technical side of it on kind of drops like that. So even though we know, looking at this chart, the daily is kind of extended, right? We know that, but you could get, you know, something like this where you have a decent sustained drop, albeit this did have a corrective in between, and the 20 period was kind of here rather than where it is now. So in terms of a retest, yeah, you're looking roughly around that zone. I mean, it's a little bit messy, but you're looking roughly, I mean, it's quite a large zone where you could get a retest. Your probably best bet is to put a fib on it from that move and look at your 40-60 box, right? Your 50% is roughly around that area. So if it does get, and whether that happens or not, get a retest of that area, then yeah, shorting that makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, I think waiting is the best opportunity. It's kind of gone now, isn't it? It could correct through time rather than through price, but bias is certainly has to be to the downside with the strength of that dollar in the stock market. So yeah, I agree with you, Rohan. I agree with you. All right, everybody. Firstly, before I forget, thanks everybody for the new subs. I think I had my best day yesterday. The most new subs that I've ever had, which is great. So thank you for that. If you like the stream, remember, hit that like button. It helps me out a little bit, helps the channel grow. But if not, have a great weekend, everybody. Refresh, do some back testing, you know, do something, or take some time away and come back on Monday and let's kill it. So cheers, guys. Trade safe. Take care.